Number 4 on the Unit 4 review, we're asked to find all critical numbers. Well, a critical number is anywhere where the derivative is 0 or undefined. I'm not with this. Alright, so let's go ahead and take the derivative. Alright, we have sine squared of 5x, so we've got, let me rewrite it, we've got two inside functions here. So what that really is the sine of 5x squared. Okay. Plus cosine 5x. So we're going to have to do a double chain rule. Okay. So let's bring this to the front. And we will get two times the sine 5x. So that is the outside. That'll be to the 1 power. Times derivative of the inside, which is sine. The derivative of sine is cosine. Times the derivative of the inside again. Derivative of 5x is flat. All of that, excuse me, all of that plus the derivative of cosine 5x, derivative of cosine negative sine. And the derivative of the inside of 5x, derivative of 5x is 5. Okay, so let's clean that up a little bit. Alright, let's see, I can multiply the 2 and the 5 here. Okay. And then I'll have 10 sine 5x cosine 5x plus, minus, this is a negative, 5 sine x. Alright. And I want to know, when does this equal 0? Well, let's see here. I guess I could factor out a sine and a 5 here. So let's do that. That leaves me with 2 cosine, 2 cosine 5x minus 1 equals 0. Alright, so you always want to try to factor, because now we can say, okay, either the first one has to equal 0 or the second one has to equal 0, since 0 times anything is 0. So we'll solve this in 2 parts. 5 sine 5x equals 0. Well, if you divide both sides by 5, that's just sine 5x equals 0. Okay, so on our unit circle, where is sine going to be 0? Well, that will be anywhere where the y value is 0. So that'll either be in this quadrant or in this quadrant. So sine is 0 between pi all the way around to 2 pi. Alright, so that's when 5x equals pi or 2 pi. Oh, and you know what? Well, let's just see. Our final answer has to be between 2, according to the problem, our final answer has to be between 0 and 2 pi over 5. So let's just make sure that happens. If we divide both sides by 5, we do in fact get pi over 5 or 2 pi over 5. Alright, so that looks good. But now we got to go back and solve for the second factor. So we've got these two answers, and now we've got to do the second half. And I'm going to erase this top piece so that we can solve it up here. Alright, so again, we're looking at the unit circle, but this time we're curious about where the cosine is equal to, well, not 0. Let's see, we got to solve for x, so let's see what happens. Alright, we add 1 to both sides and divide by 2. Alright, so now we're interested in where on the unit circle the cosine is 1/2. Alright, looks terrible. The cosine is 1/2. So let's see. Cosine is going to be 1/2 when the x value is 1/2. And that is going to be at the upper and lower little triangles there. So if I'm counting 1/6, that's 2/6, also known as pi over 3. Alright. And 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6, 7/6, 8/6, 9/6, that's 10/6, also known as 5 pi over 3. Alright. Alright, let's multiply both sides by 5 and, divide both sides by 5, and we'll get pi over 15 or pi over 3. So we've got 4 answers.